Here to weigh in on this pick, please welcome in distinguished professor from Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum. Thane, great to have you here. I want to first get your reaction to this particular appointment.
Well, Mr. Smith has significant ties to the Democratic Party. Both of his major patrons were Democratic presidents. If the argument is that we need independence, then that's why you appoint a special prosecutor. I don't actually think most people think the word special prosecutor or special counsel means independent, but it's not clear that this is the best example of it. He may be qualified, although my understanding is the one time he brought a public corruption case against a governor, I think it was from Virginia, the Supreme Court overturned that prosecution. So, look, he's got a good resume. But again, I'm not sure that it's going to convince Donald Trump supporters that it's a resume that suggests that he's fully independent of this Justice Department. He comes from the Justice Department.
I want to play this reaction from the former president to this announcement. He said in part, quote, "I've been going through this for 6 years. I'm not going to partake in this." He also said this is a disgrace and only happening because I'm leading in every poll. This is the worst politicization of justice. Would you say that this investigation, Thane, is politicized?
Look, Kilmeny, what the president, I suspect, is saying is, remember, Bob Mueller was a special counsel. That was his job. He was given that job, and he spent 2 years. And at the end of the 2 years, he concluded there was no collusion. The attorney general decided that even the obstruction case couldn't be brought against this president, against President Trump. And so, he's right to say the country spent tens of millions of dollars on the Russian meddling case that resulted in nothing. And here, frankly, Kilmeny, it just seems to me that if they had a case either in the documents that had been taken from the White House and taken to Mar-a-Lago, or for that matter, January 6th, they'd been investigating Justice Department for many months. They should have just brought a criminal indictment against the president. I just don't think he didn't have to. He doesn't even say in that speech that you just read to me. He doesn't say in the press conference that he had a conflict of interest. He said it was simply in special circumstances. It's in the public interest. But it seems to me this is a way to also extend the prosecution and investigation and let it hang over President Trump throughout this campaign that he's about to engage in. Because, if they had the evidence, there's nothing in the law that says simply because he's running for president and simply because President Biden is running for re-election that a special counsel must be appointed. It's not true. If they had evidence that there was seditious conspiracy on the January 6th case, which I don't see, that there's any causal connection between the president, the White House, and the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, or if they really think that a president removing, possessing, and maybe even mishandling documents created during his presidency that he doesn't sell to a foreign government and he doesn't destroy, whether that triggers the Espionage Act, which is what we used against Snowden and Chelsea Manning and the Rosenbergs. If the mere possession of a president of documents created during his presidency sends him to jail, bring the case. If you actually feel that there's enough evidence that merely having it in a closet and even next to underwear, if it's, obstruction is a separate charge, but the real main charge would be espionage, which you bring against enemies of the state. And I don't think this applies in this case.
And we know that they didn't apply that to Hillary Clinton. Thane Rosenbaum, great points. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.